Sorry, it's just loading. I'll close some other stuff.
Okay.
Whoa.
Are you in as Hayley or in as John at the moment, Hayley? Because that's the other advantage that I guess what we've had, and it was lucky that we did it this way, John. We don't normally have capacity to act as our clients in we can't normally go in as John Velos. Normally we go in as Hayley or Steve, but because of the political side of things, there's some extra things you need to do around advertising. So it's advantageous that we can go in as John.
I'm glad you can.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm glad you can. Yep, so that's fine.
That's helped us. So the first thing is, Hayley, just click on Insights for us up the top. It's next to so you next to more. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'll do is get you to show me the 28-day insights, right?
Yeah.
So recognizing this is the one, it's Facebook, because Facebook owns Instagram, John, this is the one we're really trying to use. Whilst we are posting to LinkedIn and we're going to Twitter, it's really Facebook where we're paying and we're spending most of our time and energies, right? Because we know most of the people are on this, right? So what you can see here, so this is what I thought, these numbers are much more up to date, right? So what this is telling us in the last 28 days is 169 people have actually come to the Facebook page itself, right? That's actually a pretty high number. It probably is largely because initially we were waiting on the website. And so what people were doing were actually going to your Facebook page to see a little bit more about you, right? But understanding that's not normally what they will do. Normally they would go to the website to find out more about you, which is what's started to happen. So then you can see these numbers are fantastic, just so you know, right? 12,000 people, 12,900 people have seen your posts, largely because of the ad, over the last 28 days. You can see that spike. So we had that time when the ad was out. You can see it went down. And so then it started to go back up again. And then you've got very, very high engagement. That is for most of our clients, particularly given we're promoting for brand awareness. We're not actually promoting for engagement. So the fact that you're getting such high engagement is very good for you, right? Just so you know, 368 people engaging with you. That means 300 people have either liked it, commented on it, or shared it. Mainly they've probably just liked it, right? So effectively, that's a high level of engagement based on what we see with other clients, just so you know, right? So this is to say your foundation has been incredibly good given the time period and given that issue that we had experienced over the last 2 weeks where there was that sort of 5-day blockage, right? That took a bit of work to fix, but we're glad we were able to fix it for you, because that would have been a real that wouldn't have enabled us to do what we want to do now. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Did that involve anyone hacking into it, or what was the story behind it? What happened?
Not at all. The problem is the nature of the page being political, and then because we were referring it to your email address was not aligned to the political page, right? So all of a sudden they were picking up on a different URL. And there we go. And so basically you understand that in political parties and political interference, businesses and that sort of stuff, we had to then justify that John Velos happens to run a legal practice, and John Velos is also standing for the seat of North Ward in Stonnington. So it was by way of that justification that they permitted the email to be placed on there, right? So that was the reason.
Right, I'm glad it wasn't hacked. That's all.
No. Very hard.
I'm glad it wasn't hacked, because there's a lot of dirty tricks going on,
Yeah. No, it's very that sort of stuff offered. I'm very rare. It's very hard to hack a page, just so you know. It's not hard to hack it's probably easier to hack an individual than it is to hack a page, just so you know, right? So anyway, that's our results. Hayley, can I get you click on go to settings? So if you go back to page on, or actually just go to your settings. You're using Classic here, so let's go settings. And what I was going to do, let's just have a look at John's Ads Manager. Can I get you to go to John's Ad Manager? Maybe that's not even via this. Maybe you can just go in the URL up the top. Yep.
Yeah.
So while she's loading that, John, what I was going to say to you, what I would suggest, you know that at the moment you're on our package, which is basically post on Monday, post on Friday, engage on Wednesday. So in other words, on Wednesdays, Hayley goes in and shares and just likes a few other people's pages to get their attention, right? That sort of thing. So ultimately, I'm wondering whether you want her to do a post on Monday, a post on Tuesday, still do the engagement on Wednesday, and then post on Thursday, post on Friday. Because otherwise, you're only really going to have probably 6 posts between now and the end of campaigning, right? So that's probably the first step. Do you want Hayley to post on a daily basis from here on in?
Yeah, I think so. For the next 2 weeks.
Yep. Okay.
Essentially, I mean, that's what we've got. 16 days left.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's do the maximum big push.
Yeah. Okay. So that's, as I said, that's a minor for us. It's a minor cost for you. But, realistically, I don't know. As I said, we'll work. I'll show you what that is. But effectively, it just raises you from the $242 a month to the $374 a month. That's all. Just so you know, it's a relatively minor cost over the next.
That's all right. You go for it.
Yep. So that's that, and that just means that Hayley can.
Yeah, you go for it because we need to make a major push now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the scheduling. So now
we need to do a major push now.
Yeah. So now, Hayley, if you can you just make that a little bit bigger for us? Can you zoom in on that screen?
Yeah, what part do you want me to zoom in on?
I just zoom in. So yeah, the reach, impressions, and cost per result, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So just so you know, John, as we mentioned, that the one of you in the on the sporting field got really, really good engagement and reach just organically, right? So that's the one we put $2 on, and we're just doing it for
which one you're looking at, Steve?
Sorry.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve. Which one you're looking at, Steve?
Yeah. So
don't go too fast. Which one you're looking at?
In fact, Hayley, if you like, why don't you open up another tab and then you can show John the post that it actually is, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question, John. So we'll show you the.
Which is the one in the sporting field?
You had your mask on the sporting field. So if you just go to the page, Hayley, we could show the 2 posts that are currently being promoted, and then you can show the stats around those 2 posts as well by clicking on them. What's your gut feel, John? How are you feeling about things?
Well, look, it's all up in the air. You've got 13 candidates, and some of them have running mates, and they're doing dirty tactics. Thank God I haven't noticed anything that someone tried to do a dirty tactic on me, but my sympathetic sort of partner, Matthew Coase, had a letter against him, a whole page, saying that he doesn't live in the ward, he's done this wrong, about 20 or 30 things, and that was meant to have circulated all over the ward. So
yeah,
I don't know what effect it's going to have.
Photos.
But there's
on that post, someone asked. I sent you an email about it. Someone asked why you had him as your second choice, and then they posted that photo underneath.
Yeah, we've what you can do, John. Here, this is.
But the strange thing is that lady. Oh yeah, this one here.
Yeah, that
had a lot of traction, did it?
That's had a lot of. If you click on that 13 likes there, Hayley. If you click on that, you possibly can open up. It'll show you who the people are. Actual fact, just close that again. So that's who you. And then what Hayley does is invites them to the page, right? Just so you know, if you might be doing that as well. But see where it's got the actual people reach. Just click on that because that doesn't look right. Because this is the post.
Yeah, no, it's not.
So it's not showing. It's not showing.
This is that one.
Is that the
Is
right
this
one?
Facebook?
This is Facebook, yeah. So and Facebook owns Instagram.
This is Facebook, is it?
Yeah.
That's the post, but these are the insights for it.
Yeah, but that's the post you're asking, right? So this is the insights, just so you know, basically. So that post has been seen in people's feed 3,000 times, just so you know. So 3,000 people have seen that particular post.
Yep.
I think how much has been spent so far? Probably about $10, right? And then, but 4,596 just means that of those 3,000, some of them have seen it twice probably, right? Just so you know. They're probably the ones that have engaged with it
Right.
in some way, right? And at the moment, look, generally we say to people anything under $1 is pretty good. This is what we're doing here is that they call it ad recall, John, right? So see on the left-hand side, it's got 70 people are likely to recall that they've seen this post and you, right? Because it's got a picture of you. It's under the John Velos for Stonnington name. What it's telling us is that come voting day, that hopefully 70 of those people will basically remember they've seen something about you and vote for you, right? Just so you know. Similarly, we did a restart on the one above, which is saying now 140 people. And then the first ad was actually performing the best, Hayley. You can see down there. So that first one had 7,400 and 15,000 impressions and 530. So far, what it's telling us that there's 590 people in the ward just purely from a social media perspective that have recollection of seeing you and would recall seeing you. That's their guesstimate. How they come up with this is anybody's guess. But realistically, the algorithm, we have to go on the basis, well, that's what the algorithm's telling us. On the same basis, we know how many people have seen it. So now all of a sudden we know that 31,000 people have, well, probably more than once, but 12,700 people have seen it in their feed, one of your posts, one of your advertised posts, right, over and above your other posts. So this is why we're sort of saying to you, they're big numbers, correct, right? How many people in the ward? How many people of voting age within the ward? Do you remember? It was about 40.
In the ward, there's about 50,000.
Yeah, so about 50,000, right?
50,000.
Yeah. So I'm thinking what you might want to consider between now and so realistically, we know actually scroll over just a little bit. So total spend so far, Hayley.
Yeah.
Just bring it to the right.
Yeah, it's just not.
There's usually a little bar at the bottom.
Yeah, so let me zoom out.
There we go.
Let's have to refresh.
So what I was going to suggest, your budget up until now has achieved this result. What I'm suggesting to you, if you want to feel like you've covered the entire audience, you may want to look at a budget that's going to cover the balance, right? So just, is there a way of making your... Yeah, there you go. So far, realistically, that's pretty miserly, John, just so you know. You've spent $80, right? $80 to achieve those results. You can't see it again, Hayley, just on the right.
Yeah.
$82.
Oh, we need to increase it, Steve.
Yeah, so it's $82.
Yeah, listen, we need to increase it.
So $82. What I'd suggest to you
I can't.
is that you look at a budget between now and so maybe we up, so you look at a budget of say another, you tell me, but realistically 80 has already got you to a quarter of the people. If you were to spend another 200, there's probably a likelihood you'll get to all of them, right? At some point between now and the end of the campaign. So you might want to have a budget in mind between now and the 24th of $200, let's say. Does that sound like a reasonable idea?
No, I'd like you to increase it, say $300.
Okay.
And just push it.
Okay, so $300.
Increase to say $300 or $350. If you're recommending 200, I would even go as high as 400 to give it a really, really strong push if you reckon it's going to make any difference.
Okay, I reckon it's going to make a big difference to making sure that everybody has been touched by your campaign before now. So what we'll do is, Hayley, we will work out in advance. We'll work out the schedule of posts for next week, John, and we'll talk to you about that in a second, right? So we'll talk about the schedule of posts for the entire time between now and the 24th. But the reason next week becomes important is because from next week we'll start to promote a few of the other posts as well, right? So clearly the first thing that we'll do is we'll just simply up the one that's already running and already performing well. We'll just put probably another $10 a day on the JV Vote One John Velos one, Hayley. Yeah. But we'll do the maths, right? I just want to do the maths because I want to get some exposure. I reckon we we potentially keep this other one running, Hayley. I reckon we run, because we know that was popular already. So
Yeah.
then we probably just up this one. And then I reckon we bring on at least 3 other ads, and then we work out what a budget of 350 or,
Minus those
yeah,
to
what between now and the 24th looks like if we were to promote all of them at a budget of 350 between now and I say 350, John, because some of these you would have already spent another, even if you just stayed on this path, you would have been spending another 100 anyway, right? So so we'll just work towards that sort of figure, as you said. So it's about a $400 to $450 spend between now and the 24th, right? Just to get you maximum. So we'll actually end all the ads on the 24th.
Not a problem, Steve.
Yep.
Steve.
Yep.
I know, Steve, the most important thing is to take really strong action tomorrow or even today, because my truck's going to be out there and I want to get the maximum penetration.
Yep.
Some people be going around pulling down my posters. I've got 2 types of posters. I've got the large Paul Flues, which is about 600 by 900, and I've got the other ones, the A4. The big ones I put on homes, fences, all of that. The little ones I'm putting on shops, windows, and all of that. And people are pulling them down. It could be the opposition, it could be others, but I'm relentless. I've put up about 100 little A4 ones.
Yeah.
And I've distributed 50 already of the big ones, and I've ordered another 20 as of tonight. I'm going to be out in the streets again.
Yep.
Putting up the big ones and the little ones. So I'm relentless. I'm not stopping.
Yep.
So by the same token, I'd like us to start as of today, tomorrow, and make a big weekend push with my truck, so I can become really visible in every front.
Yep. So
it's the only way to succeed, because there's a lot of people there with running mates.
Yep. So Hayley, has a truck post gone out yet, or was it due to go
running
out
mates?
I had a truck post on Monday.
Okay, so we can already promote that one. It's okay.
Yeah.
So but what we might want to do, I'm not sure what we had going out tomorrow, but we might want to do a truck post again for tomorrow.
Okay. Do you want me to bring the Friday post to today and then do a post?
Correct.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's exactly what I was going to suggest. Yep. So bring
Yep.
Friday's post to today. Do another truck post tomorrow.
Yeah.
And basically, what I'd like you to do, John, take some photos over the weekend. We don't need.
He's got photos of the truck.
Yeah, I know we've got photos of the truck.
Yeah.
I've got tons of.
No, I know.
I've got tons of truck, Steve. I've got tons of photographs for the truck. Also, another big thing is Paran Market, because my truck was outside the Paran Market. I had put a post in relation to Paran Market.
Yeah.
So we've got the grounds, with that popular one. Then we've got the truck. We've got the Paran Market. We've got all the other bits and pieces about the rates.
Yep.
So I leave it in your hands. You've got tons
of
photos.
Yeah, I'm just stepping out a posting strategy. So I know we already have photos of the truck. Do we have lots of photos already with you and the truck in front of the areas that you want to have?
Yeah, he's got a few.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I think you'll be surprised.
Okay, perfect.
Surprised.
So I'm going to step out a bit of a strategy for us, right? So basically, Hayley's already mentioned you're going to move today's post back to tomorrow's post you're going to move to today, Hayley.
Yeah, that's the Paran Market one.
Yep, perfect. And then tomorrow we're going to do another post about the fact that John's going to be out and about over the weekend. It's the second last weekend that he'll be doing that. So we'll do that for tomorrow. On Monday, we're going to do a post that says
Steve, slow down a bit. Steve, just slow down a bit. On Saturday, outside the market, I'm meeting with people my supporters. I'm going to have my truck at 10 a.m. outside the market, and I'm having a few supporters coming down, to gather around, and I'm going to tell them about my vision about Paran Market and all of that sort of stuff. So I don't know if you want to promote that today, so more people will come down on 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Okay. Have we got that on the website?
At 10 a.m. and my supporters will be there.
Yep. Hey, Hayley, can I get you to?
I haven't got that on the website that I'm meeting at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Hayley, can I get you to open the website? Because again, we still need to stick to a bit of a strategy here, because otherwise we're going to be way too ad hoc, and it just becomes so time consuming, John, in terms of trying to follow up on that's, so
Yep.
I want to clarify. So it's clear that the truck is important to you over the next weekends. We get it. And I like the idea that, as you said, let's tell people that you're going to be down there. In fact, Hayley, why don't we do it as an event tomorrow? Let's set
Okay.
set the event up either today or tomorrow, telling people that at 10 o'clock John's going to be down there, right? So, so that would be a Saturday event, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also do a post for it on the Saturday morning.
Well, I think if you're going to do the event, that would be enough. So at the moment, that's an additional post already. But I think that would give, what you could do is just remind people on Saturday. You could share it back to the page again, right?
Yeah.
Just a reminder, John will be attending Paran Market at 10 o'clock with his supporters. We look forward to seeing you there, right?
Yeah.
So that would be great. All right. So again, it's going to be a big Friday to Monday around the truck, right? And around John being he's being present and being really active over these weekends, these last 2 weekends. Tuesday, what would we normally be going back to? Would we go back to priorities for John on Tuesday, Hayley?
Yeah. Normally on a Monday and a Friday, I post about like priorities. So
Okay. So Tuesday, let's do priorities still.
yeah.
Thursdays, let's do priorities again. And
Yeah.
then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The following Saturday, you're going to be doing something similar again, John?
Yep, I can be there at 10 a.m. again.
Okay, well, let's do it as a repeat event. So we're going to say John's going to...
I can go to other spots. I can go to other spots. I can go on other spots.
Yeah.
For example, Turek Village, for example, I can be there on Sunday, 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. or 12 noon. I can be, I can nominate spots that I can be at.
Yeah.
For people to meet me and see me and talk to me and ask questions.
It's just we need to know the spot earlier.
Don't forget for the next.
Yeah. We need to know immediately the spot. That's the only thing.
Yep. Well, I can define the spots.
Yeah. I think basically it's a bit.
I can make it say 12 noon.
I think that would be a great idea. Basically, what we could do is you could do it. So effectively, can I get you to do a 10 a.m. and a 12 noon for the next 2 Saturdays? Just do the 2 spots that you're going to be. Are they sort of at different ends of the ward, John?
Yeah, sort of very busy ends. For example, Turek Village is where the Woolworths supermarket is,
Yep.
And a lot of coffee shops and people congregate to have their coffee and everything like that. So 12 o'clock is a good time for them at that spot.
Yep.
And Paran Market, I can be there at 10 a.m. because people go early.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
and we can do that on both Saturday and Sunday.
For the next 2 weekends, correct?
Yeah, I can be there 10 a.m. on Paran Market Saturday, for example, and I can be on Sunday at 12 noon.
Yeah.
On
okay, perfect.
Village, and then I can be at different spots. I can be at Hawkesbury Village as well. I mean, that's another good spot. I can be there, say, 12 noon Saturday. So we can do each Saturday, 10 a.m. at Paran Market, 12 noon at Hawkesbury Village.
And Sundays.
That's on a Saturday, and then on Sunday we change it around. And Sunday we can go Turek Village at 12 noon.
Yeah.
So that's three.
And we can be down at the other end. You know that photo that you've got, Hayley, with the 670 Chapel Street?
Yeah.
That's called the Vogue, which is a huge supermarket complex there, shopping strip. So I can be there.
Which one is it?
So what do you think is a better strategy? To let people know where I'm going to be?
Yeah.
I think particularly if you can hit repeat both weekends. So I would say it would be great if we could have at least 3 venues at 3 different times. I think Hayley, I've seen her trying to write them down. We might just need to clarify them so that we actually have.
I think I have them.
You have them. So what have you got, Hayley? Just repeat it to John.
Saturdays.
Okay, I can start again.
I think I've got them, John. It's Saturday 10 a.m. at Paran Market, and then 12 p.m. at Hawkesburn Village, and then Sundays 12 p.m. at Toorak Village.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's for both weekends.
Yeah, but what Steve's suggesting is a better idea, I think, because what he's saying is to be at 3 spots per day, which means we need another spot for Saturday.
I wasn't.
I can be at 2 o'clock
anyway.
on Saturday. Yeah, I can be at 2 o'clock down at Vogue, 670 Chapel Street.
Okay.
You might be able to hitch a ride to the Mr. Whippy
But
van.
you think
Is there a Mr. Whippy van going around in Stonnington?
There is. The park the other day.
Oh God! Listen, can I maybe put Toorak Village in there? Maybe we can repeat it Saturday and Sunday at those spots. What do you think?
Vogue,
in other words, have the exact itinerary.
Yeah,
have the exact itinerary for Saturday and Sunday to keep it simple.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, we would need an exact itinerary.
In other words, all 4 days of my truck.
Yep.
Yeah. So unpredictable. You follow what I mean? Like people know if they miss me one day, they'll get me the next day.
Yeah.
I think that's the best.
Because I don't intend to stay there for more than half an hour.
So essentially, John.
Okay, then.
So we've got it right. We've got how many venues each day?
I think we have 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
Well, we could have 4 venues per day. We
so
can have the big 4 venues.
The way
I'll stay there for 30 minutes. I'm thinking if I have 4 stops for half an hour each, 45 minutes each, something like that, in those big congregated sort of shopping areas, they'll be a lot more profitable than running around in empty streets. Because if you go around the back streets because of the lockdown, the experience was there was no one around. It was just empty streets. No one seeing the van or the truck.
Okay, so it sounds like.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, Hayley, it just.
So maybe.
Yeah.
They just become custom events.
I'll tell you what a better itinerary would be. We can start off with Paran Market at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Then we can slot in, say, instead of Hawkesburn Village, we go Toorak Village at 12 noon.
Yeah.
Then 1 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock we go to Hawkesburn.
Yeah.
And 3 o'clock we can go to 670 Chapel Street, Vogue.
Yeah.
You can look it up, Vogue, it's a huge building, Vogue building.
Yeah.
So
shopping strip.
And you'll do that.
What do you think, Steve?
On Sunday, and then the next weekend as well.
Yeah,
I'll do it Saturday and Sunday, and do it so I can become predictable.
Yeah, cool.
Like Mr. Whippy.
Yeah. I think a Mr. Whippy strategy.
Does that make sense, Steve? Do you like that?
Yeah, Mr. Whippy strategy is a great strategy. I would really like it if you were handing out ice creams rather than leaflets, but I think leaflets is going to work just as well. But I do think,
right.
Hayley, you realistically, it'll take a little bit of extra work, but it's really just for event post customized. Yeah. So basically you'll have the same image for the 4, as in you'll use a different image for each event, but basically the Saturday Toorak Village will look at the same as the Sunday Toorak Village will look at the same as the following Saturday and the following
Sunday.
Sunday.
Set them for 45-minute events, John. So I'm going to say.
I think the other thing that we can do, instead of having 3 p.m. for 670 Chapel Street, what do we make it 2 p.m.? So that way
Yeah.
I'd get all the stuff done, and then I'm free to roam around between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock, 3 hours, and cover other areas as well. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Just to
So,
Haley's question, though. Yeah.
10 a.m. 10 a.m.
Yeah,
Brand
I'm gonna
Market,
make the events. I'm
12
gonna make
noon
the
at Turek Village,
yeah. 1 p.m. at
1
Hawkesbury.
p.m. at Hawkesbury Village, and 2 p.m. at Vogue.
Right. I'm gonna make the event length.
I think that's a good strategy, but all 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And I'm I'm gonna put the event lengths for 45 minutes. So I'm gonna say between 10 and 10:45 a.m. you're gonna be at Paran Market.
I reckon make them half an hour, Haley, because
Make them half an hour?
We'll make them half an hour.
I think make it 30 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Make it half an hour.
Yeah.
And then if he happens to hang around for 5
I tell you what, because there are some no standing areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So 10 a.m. Brand Market, 12 noon Turek Village.
Yeah.
And then we've got Hawkesburn at 1 p.m. And then we've got Vogue at 670 Chapel Street.
Yeah, at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m.
Okay.
All right, that sounds like a
That'll happen Saturday and Sunday of every.
To the weekends.
Yep.
And you know what, Haley?
Unpredictable, and people want to ask me questions.
Yep.
Haley, that's our strategy too. Basically, now we have 4 events to promote. We'll promote them all.
Hey, really? If he's doing it the next weekend as well.
Yeah, so it'll make it easy. Basically, we'll promote them as posts.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that. We'll just need to spend some time tomorrow. We'll make sure that we got them all done, and that basically that gives us the strategy now. So that's what we'll promote, John. We'll up your main promotion that's been going already. We'll up the value of that, and then we'll just share the rest of it across those 4 events, to reminding people they can come and speak with you. They can get a flyer. They can have a chat. And you're going to have some supporters there already, so they hopefully will jump on board and engage with those posts. So I think that's a really, really solid strategy for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Look, another idea that I've got, because there's another spot that's very good, which is near the market. It's to do with KFC and McDonald's. It's on that corner near Elizabeth Street. And I've got an hour in between 10 and 11. Maybe we can slid in 11. We can say that we're going to be outside McDonald's or near McDonald's. What do you think? And we'll have 5 spots to go.
Yeah.
At 11 a.m., I can be near, in other words, just go around the block. 11 a.m., I can be at McDonald's and KFC.
It's just not
What do you guys think?
It would just be hard to explain where that is on a map without tagging McDonald's. So it might not look as nice as saying.
Everybody knows McDonald's and KFC.
Does the
McDonald's and KFC is opposite each other.
Yeah.
I just don't see you as a McDonald's and KFC
McDonald's
kind of guy.
Paran.
Yeah, I know where you're talking about. Actually, you drive past. It's on a busy corner, isn't it? Is that right?
Well, you can say it's Chase's nightclub. You can say Chase's nightclub.
Yeah, now
everybody knows Chase's.
That's more like what I see John Velos as. Not that doesn't look like John either.
What? Yeah. Why don't you call it Chase's? Chase's nightclub.
John,
outside.
John, you mentioned
it's a huge area, and
John, you mentioned before that you've actually got supporters coming along to the Paran one. Paran, I hope I'm saying that right. Given that I'm a West Australian, my apologies.
Paran.
Paran.
That's right.
Yeah. So, John, you mentioned you've got supporters coming along to Paran Market. Do you think that might be the one to sort of really showcase, if that's the one people are going to be coming along to?
Because you're doing all that stuff, like you want to keep rates down and stuff
that's the
in the market. So wouldn't you want to talk to like vendors and stuff in the Paran Market?
No, I can't do that. I'm not allowed.
Right.
I do it outside in the street.
Yeah.
There's a policy that you can't, sort of do any events inside. You can't do it inside the market. So what I do, I park the truck in the entry or exit where people, necessarily see it when they go in and out in the public, parking spot. And then I'm on the passenger side and I just give out my stuff.
Oh, you can't go inside and hand
talk
out
to people.
stuff.
And you've seen some video.
Yeah.
You've seen some video. You've got some video that you can promote as well. I've got some video outside and talking to people. Then I've got some video with Sam inside in his fruit shop. And there's another one there with the other fellow, Terry, who's got a stall there doing hardware.
Is it an option?
You've got little snippets, video snippets.
Is it an option, John, to go and park the van at the front and at the back? Is there different entry and exits? How many? What's the lay of the land there?
Yeah, it's very hard to go on the commercial side, which is the other side of the market, the front, because it's a no standing in front of the great big entry in Commercial Road. You can't stand there.
Yeah, I do.
And I've tried to go nearby, and there's always no standing, no standing.
I am particularly.
So I usually go around the back called Elizabeth Street.
Yeah, I am.
I go around the back near the car park called Elizabeth Street.
I think I'm a little bit on Haley. My sense is I would spend particularly if we've got video, because maybe we could do a video promotion which actually includes the prawn market, for a prawn market with the truck in it. So basically, I would almost suggest to you make sure you really nail the prawn market, because I reckon they're your people, and I reckon that's where you're almost the face of. I reckon don't squeeze the McDonald's, KFC, and Chase nightclub. I just don't feel like I was joking. I don't see that as being you. And there may be people that will vote for you of that, but I reckon they're probably less likely. I reckon the other three that you've identified are probably more likely your people and your voters, right? That's my gut feel. But also, I think if you've got some video footage of
I tell you what,
if you've got video footage of Pran Market, I would just stick around longer, but try and just find a slightly different location.
Yeah. Even if you stand, even if you leave your truck at the back with your thing running, and you go to the front and hand out flyers to people going in, or something like that. If you can't hand them out inside,
that's what I've been doing. Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I would spend your hour.
I tell you though, that's not a. I know it's not a very good strategy, because to the Pran market, everyone from everywhere goes, including people from St Kilda, Port Melbourne, whatever, and they're not in my ward. You follow?
Yeah.
So, whereas the Chasers thing, I've got a lady that's running, and she's the owner of Chasers. I was hoping that she will give me her preference, but she's being very coy at the moment. She thinks she's going to romp it in, because people go to Chasers, and it's young people and all that. She doesn't realise how difficult it is to convince people to vote. But anyway,
okay,
that's why I was thinking Chasers, because she's a lady that she's running.
It's not much different
independently
for us. It just becomes another event post. That's fine. So basically, you've got that, Haley. You've got the run through times now. So it's just Chasers.
Are we adding Chasers in there then?
Chasers becomes 11 o'clock. Yep.
No, yeah. Don't just call it Chasers only.
No, of course.
Don't just call it Chasers. Call it Chasers, McDonald's, and KFC.
Yeah. When you do it though,
because there's a lot of young people that vote, and they come from the flats.
So when
18 plus.
When you do Facebook events, John, you need to put a location, and you can put a location in. So I'm assuming, as you said, we could probably just put the McDonald's location in, but we'll let people know exactly what it's opposite and what it's near. We just need to choose which one do we want to have as our main location. What are you going to park closest to?
Well, I'm going to try and park near Chasers, McDonald's, and KFC, because they're opposite each other.
Yeah.
And it's very unpredictable, because there's only a quarter hour, half an hour sort of limit.
Okay.
I normally go around the block and try and find a gap. As soon as I see a gap, I park the truck, and then out I go and promote.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of hit and miss,
What's the name of the road?
But I'm pretty good at that, because
Straight, I think.
So Haley, what
Chapel Street.
It's an extension of Chapel. Okay. Yeah, so what you might do, Haley, is just put the street number roughly where those venues are. So don't actually put any of those venues as such. You just put the
Okay.
street number.
Yeah.
Cool. Whereas the other ones, they're actually a precinct, so you could just do the location as the precinct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I think we've got that strategy. So effectively, so how many days?
Hold on. Let me just make sure. Now, can I just sort of recapitulate what I've got in mind? So you tell me if it's correct.
Yes.
10 a.m. at Prahran Market, 11 a.m. Chase's McDonald's or KFC, 12 noon at Toorak Village, 1 p.m. at Hawkesbury Village, and 2 p.m. at Vogue, 670 Chapel Street.
Yeah.
I've got 5 locations that I'm going to be hitting, and after about 2:30, I'm going to freelance wherever I can find people.
Yep.
That's my plan.
Yep.
That I think
Great.
might work.
And Hayley, do we have the wording for this in terms of you know, are we just saying come and say hello to John? Is there any wording we could find?
Meet and greet.
Yeah, so if you got my
Meet your
profile,
candidate, something
so
like
if
that.
you go to my profile, Hayley, as in for John on the website here, it is basically a meet and greet with John Velos. And then in the terminology, we'll just tell people, you know, these first few paragraphs about John. And basically, so on each of them, they can go and find out more. They can give him a call. They can, if that's how we normally do it, we do the normal sort of call to action. But effectively, we take the information from the
They can ask
from the
questions.
about. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But as you said, it's a meet and greet, John.
They can ask questions. They can meet me. Yep.
Or maybe what
okay. I've got 5 locations that I'm going to. Yep.
What we could call it is say hello to John Velos.
And that will be all the same Saturday.
What about meet and greet your candidate? Someone posted the other day.
I think
why are there no meet and greets with any of the candidates? Like on Zoom, they were talking about. But
yep. I like to meet and greet your candidate, your North Ward candidate.
Yep.
Meet and greet your North Ward candidate, former, Mayor of Prahran, John Velos, something like that.
That's the information that can't go in the title.
Yeah. So I think as you said, meet and greet your candidate John Velos. That'll probably.
What about meet and greet John Velos - North Ward?
Your candidate of North Ward.
Yeah, I think you can probably squeeze
your candidate at North Ward. Make it sort of personal to them.
Yeah. The only problem is probably we could actually meet and greet your candidate for the North Ward, and then we talk. And it'll have your picture anyway.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about John Velos. The other thing, Hayley, we might just have to include in here that he'll be meeting and greeting at a social distancing and something just with some sort of reference in there around COVID, right? So that basically that you'll be masked up and that you'll be doing it in a socially responsible manner, right? So that's something to be clear, right?
Well done.
Yeah.
Yep. Well done. Yep. And they can ask questions. They can, advise issues of importance to them.
And just on John's point earlier, I did actually block somebody off one of the advertised posts. So I blocked and deleted them because they just basically made a comment. It wasn't a tarnish, but they just had in capitals "not relevant" with some exclamation. So I blocked and deleted that. So John, that is the only thing. Once we start advertising and you start to look a little bit like the man that's everywhere, you will attract, as you said, some people. Not everybody's going to like you, and not everybody's going to like that they're seeing you everywhere, right, in their feed particularly. So we'll make sure that we're onto anything like that, anything that's inappropriate. Hayley or I will block and remove basically off any of those, particularly the advertised posts, because as I said, you can't hit tens of thousands of people's feeds and then not expect some people to have a crack at you. Basically, that's going to happen. Having said that, you might get someone legitimately asking you, well, okay, John, what are you going to do about this? if you don't see it, we'll let you know that that sort of comment is in there. You've been pretty good, I think, of sort of monitoring that sort of stuff and then responding at times as well. So, but you will attract them more on these advertised ones. That's all.
Yeah.
It doesn't worry me as long as they're not malicious and stupid. If they are, they probably need a warning, you know.
Yeah. Oh, malicious and stupid.
They're malicious and stupid.
Malicious and stupid will block and delete, so don't worry about those. But yeah, if they're a legitimate, if they've got a legitimate angst or if they've got a legitimate question, realistically, that's fair game because we understand that we're working in politics here anyway, right?
No, not a problem. I haven't got a problem with that. I'm very good at answering people and just telling them why, because very often they haven't got the whole picture and they go off on a tangent. But when you set them right, you know, they usually vote for me.
Awesome. All right, John. Is there any other questions you've got of us? But there's a bit of work for you and me, Haley. We're going to have to work out when we'll do this. We'll make some time. Certainly, either by the end of today or first thing probably tomorrow, Haley. Yeah, and make sure all they go up so that we can start. Particularly, so what you'll see, John, is it'll mean that there'll be a flurry of posts over the next 2 days. That doesn't mean there's going to be a flurry of posts over the subsequent days. It's just that we're going to put these event posts out particularly because they're the ones we're going to promote, right? So you will see a flurry between now and close of business tomorrow. But basically, then we'll get to daily posts for the next 2 weeks leading up to the election date. And and I guess it might make sense, John. Maybe we should at least touch base, even if it's just for 15 minutes. Maybe before next weekend. Maybe that's something we could do.
Listen, I'm available anytime. You know that I'm available 24 hours a day.
Okay.
You know that. Anytime you want something, just ring me on the mobile. Let me just go through. So we've got the list, and we all understand where I'm going to be. This is for Saturday and Sunday for the next 2 weeks. 10 a.m. in Paran Market. 11 a.m. outside Chase's, McDonald's or KFC, 12 noon at Toorak Village. I should say, when I say Toorak Village, you might as well specify Toorak Road, Toorak Village, because there's a back entry as well.
Yeah.
So, Haley, just say Toorak.
Yeah.
At 1 p.m., Hawkesbury Village, I will be on Malvern Road. Specify that as well, because there's a behind car park and people can get confused. Malvern Road, Toorak Village. And 2 p.m, Vogue, outside around 670 Chapel Street, South Yarra.
Yeah, got it.
Funny enough, there is one other location that's popular and good, and that's South Yarra Station. But I couldn't get any parking spots there because there's a huge tram station.
Yeah.
So do you think I should put that at, say, at 3 p.m, South Yarra Station? What do you think? I think it's a good idea.
John, if you think it's a good idea.
Say 3 p.m, South Yarra Station.
If you think it's a good idea.
Okay, make it 6.
South Yarra.
Yeah, 3 p.m, South Yarra Station.
Did you find anywhere to park?
And that is Toorak Road.
Yeah.
Can't you?
Yeah, I do find, but it's not right outside the station.
That's fine. I'll put Toorak Road near South Yarra Station.
No, not side street.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Toorak Road near South Yarra Station.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 100 metres, 50 metres, 30 metres, up or down.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think that's good. South Yarra Station would be great. So I've got, you know, I start at 9 a.m, so I finish at 5. So I've got a lot of, you know, things to do. The good thing is that if people want to meet me, talk to me, ask me questions, I'm making myself available. And that's something that's, I think, is very, very important for people, for you to pass the message. John's going out of his way to make himself available for 2 weekends, Saturday, Sunday, on 5 locations per day. And, you know, you can ask him any questions, meet him, whatever. In other words, you're saying, look, the guy's active, he's on board, he's doing it for your benefit, welfare and benefit, and look after your interests. Ask him, you know, sort of, interact with him, ask him questions, whatever.
I think that'll make
He's very active. He's going to do the right things and good things.
We might do a video post, Haley, just for so we'll basically do each of the event posts, and we'll do a video post which kind of has the truck moving. Is the truck moving or just near the truck? It's just a video with you at the truck.
It's him like walking with
Yeah. Okay. So we'll use the video one, but that video one will promote all the locations and the times. I think that's the way. That'll be our catch-all. Yeah.
Hey, that's good.
John, did you want to borrow my whereby?
Fantastic.
Did you want to borrow my whereby so you can have an online after party?
What does that mean? I don't understand.
I was just meaning, if you can't have a proper after party because you're probably not going to be able to have people over. So I was just wondering whether you wanted to have an online after party.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a good idea, but I don't know about whereby how to use the thing.
We can host. It was a flippant.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Can you host it?
What is your? Of course.
Was that a joke? Was that a joke?
You should know me well enough now that I like to make light of certain things, John. You know that it just helps me. It helps me relax.
No, that's fine. I love it.
But you should consider what you're going to do.
That's good. No, I love it.
You should consider what you're going to do as a bit of an after party once.
Let me tell you.
If he wins the
party.
On a
serious note, and a joking thing, I was dealing with a very successful landowner in Turek Village, and I've been trying to persuade him. He's got an empty shop. It's worth, I don't know, about $10,000 a week, to lend it to me for 3 weeks for a token amount. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he had this crazy agent who prevented him from giving me because of the lockdown. I wanted to get that prominent corner.
Yeah.
Which is a huge area. In normal circumstances, a supporter of mine would let me go in, because it's an empty shop, and we just pay insurance.
Yeah.
And we just have like a pop-up shop. Does that make sense? For 3-4 weeks.
That would have been a great idea.
And now he wanted to do it, but his agent didn't want to do it. So I've been active like that, trying to find a premise that I can go, but it's useless because, we're going to be all locked down.
Yeah.
So if the whereby is is a viable option, why not?
Yeah. My one actually only has.
But we're going to catch up afterwards. Provided I get elected, I'll be in a good mood.
Yeah, of course.
Same.
Yeah. Well, we've actually got.
If I don't get elected,
we've got 2 of you, so I'm hoping both you and Councillor Peter gets elected for a 7th term, and that you get in as well, and then we'll have both the west side of the bridge and the east side of the bridge covered. So that'd be fantastic. Yeah. All right, John.
Fantastic.
So
I hope Peter wins.
Yep. I think we're going to. I think we're doing well. In all seriousness, if you sounds like you got plenty of supporters. My whereby only has up to 50. You probably want to use Zoom, and that can hold probably unlimited for 45 minutes. It's just whether you want to kick them out after 45 minutes.
No. We can use whereby. On a serious note, we can use whereby. I don't think I'm going to have more than 45 people interested in this sort of technology.
Well, leading up to the day, I'm sure we'll have a conversation.
I don't know about these things.
Let's have a conversation about how we might.
Okay. Let's win first.
Let's have a conversation about. So in other words, we don't want to catch up, win, lose, or draw. We only want to catch up if you win. So, yeah. Right. It sounds like you and us are doing.
No, it's all right. It's all right. No matter.
I think offline and online, you are doing everything to give yourself every conceivable chance, John. So I'm very optimistic for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. But there are 13 candidates, and they all have running mates. I'm the only one with no running mate, because a couple of people have just decided to go off their own track, including the lady